Hello, this is again a tough video. This time on, it's kind of separated in different things. One is the power system, and then the knowledge system, you know, where power is, or our responsibility, what we have, what the power we have in society, in a group, depends on our knowledge, on our skills, you know, so it's kind of the skill system and the power system. And these two are actually entangled, they are actually connected by the people that play in the power system. Their knowledge, so their skill is one of the many skills that are in this knowledge or skill system, and it is to control power, to cure power, to increase power, to work with power, to organize power. That's what they know. And that is kind of the connection between the two. So it's power as, you know, the power is the knowledge of how to handle power. So that's these two systems. Now I want to explain the easier to understand system, and that is the power system. So in the end, we have, like the film Highlander says, we have just one, the most powerful most powerful dictator of the world here. But obviously, there are always fights about it and so on, and there's coming and going and so on. So you have like the top of the pyramid, and here we talk about maybe 10,000 people or so that are the elites. And maybe I want to explain this. So they have lots of money, and they have no skills except for the power skills. So, but they have no skills like, can I repair a car, or I'm a good carpenter, or I'm a good programmer, am I a good doctor, a scientist or so. There they have very little knowledge in that. Then there are the ruling people. So these are the guys that actually take the commands from the elites and then actually execute it sometimes in dictatorship, sometimes in so-called democracies. And these guys get lots of money and status, and they also have no skill except for how to control power, how to make power, with power, more power. That's what they know. And then they have the knowledge people. I know that the knowers, I know right here, the skilled people, the experts, you know, they get lots of money, and so they get lots of money and they produce lots of value. I could have written value here, but I put dollars in. So they have lots of knowledge, and they they offer that knowledge, and obviously they offer that knowledge to everybody, but the elites and their helpers, they use that knowledge. So they control them by paying them lots of money. But these are actually the guys that produce the value of a country. And then there are also in the power system, now the thing, because there are also values like human values, which are more in this skill thing, human values to take care of people, to cure people, to educate people, to educate your family, your friends, all that. This is in that realm. That is not in this system. So these are the guys that know how to program very well, that know to implement things, and these are the experts. And obviously the elites, so if somebody is able to build an atomic bomb, they will use it. You know, then some of the elites will also use it to produce electricity, you know, but others would produce it, others of the elites, depending on what area of elite you are in, use it as a weapon, as a political, as a strategical kind of means to, and so, oh, there's an atomic bomb done by one of the experts. Excellent. We use it. And the others that use it for producing electricity, they exploit the money, so they get money out of it. Okay, so these are the experts here. And I would say these are maybe 1 to 5%, so not a lot of people. So here very, very little. Here maybe 1% of the ruling ones, maybe, yeah, about 1%. And then these ones that really know what is going on, that work, maybe also in the few percent. And then there are these small, I wrote wheels, little turbos that spin, that just do the work and so on, and they get some money and they produce something, so it's kind of even. They work in an office, they do little things, they do administrational jobs, they are in the factory, they put together things, but they are not the experts. They just, you know, they operate. And there's lots of them, maybe 30% or so, maybe around that. And then you have, I would say, half of the people that are unproductive receivers of kind of the of money from the state. You know, they just get money from the state, so they get money and they kind of okay, why do I put in dollars here what they produce? Because the black one is what they produce. And the thing is, they produce, these are the mass people, they produce so it's maybe kind of for humanity, it's maybe a 0 or even a -1, but for kind of the elites, it's a value. So sorry, that I should have written maybe with a 0 or -1, so not the dollar. Because why minus? Because they serve as people that elect these ones. So in these pseudo democratic countries, they vote. They are also part of the mob, you know. So when they want to go against something, the government and the elites just has to send that mob against, you know, somebody that is, let's say, the opposition or so. And they are also, they serve as a pool of humans, and that is for, you know, to have, for example, soldiers, to have females for the elites, and so that look up to these rich people and so on. It's just a pool of unproductive people. And so this is kind of the power system. Now, if I go on the other side about the skill system, and here what I try to do is I tried to say there are many skills. We remember those guys in the power system, they have one skill, and that is about power, how to organize power, how to get more powerful. But here are hundreds, if not thousands, thousands, if not 10,000s of skills that you can have. And if you take the sum of all skills of all people, manual labor, science, education, professors in university, organizational stuff, and nurses, and, you know, all those people, that is the sum of all those skills. And now I try to draw this kind of pyramid with just one skill. Let's say somebody is a very good mechanic, car mechanic, and there are, you know, a lot of people that have no skills in terms of car mechanics. So they couldn't, so kind of this is the whole population, so 8 billion people, and maybe only like 10 million people would be very skilled to actually do something with a car, yeah, to work on a car. And obviously these, like these 10 million would then be the experts here, or maybe kind of in here, but they would be the ones that produce, in that area, they produce a value, yeah, and can be exploited by obviously the elites, and can also serve for humanity. That is what happens. They can use that, for example, if somebody is a good cook, if somebody is a good father, if somebody is a good mother, and so on, and or a good nurse, and so on, a caring grandmother, and so on. He could contribute with his skills to society. And now the thing is, via specialization, each person selects where he wants to earn his money with. And usually he gets, for being very skilled, maybe a very skilled mechanic. He opens a craftsman shop, and then he repairs cars, and he gets lots of money and status for that because he's very skilled. So that means because we specialize of the many, because we all have maybe 10, 20, 30 skills, and one of which we major in, one of which we select to earn our money. And because of we get money, status, and power for it. Now, little power, but we get that for it. And so that means each one of us concentrates of one or two, just a few of the skills he could have. Obviously, these people don't have a lot of skills. They have also less skills. So that means if you look at this pyramid, which is like that, it's like a deformed pyramid, you know, like when you build it with wet sand, it flows like that, and you will have only a few, and you put a stick in, and then you have only a few people that are very skilled and a lot in one specific area. If you take the sum of all, you would obviously get a different picture. You would get kind of, if you get the sum, you would get a skill picture of that. But still, that is very, very important. Still, I believe that about 50% of people you could call relatively unskilled. So they have, if you really look at them, they have very little skills. You know, you think, what is he dumb or whatever? What is he not concentrated? What does he do? Why doesn't he get up? Why is he not fit? Why is he physically not fit? Why is he intellectually not fit? Why didn't he finish school? What is that? So I would say 50% of our current population, depending obviously on the country and so on, is not very skilled. And that is bad. That's also bad. But the worst thing is obviously this power spiral. And now the central question I ask is, where are you? So I explained now the power system and the knowledge system, the skill system. And now the question is, where are you? How many of these skills do you have? Where are you? Are you kind of in many skills in the upper area, in some skills in the very high area, and then some you are not interested in? Or are you rather part of these 50% and you rather look, watch Netflix and are not very fit and not, you need instant gratification and all that. So that depends here. So this is one thing. But then on the other hand, where are you here? You know, are you part of the establishment? Are you part of, you know, a scientist that is actually used by the elites to do something, to manipulate? Are you a journalist that manipulates people and so on? Because the power system has three means mainly. One is money. The second is the law. So laws. You know, so you have to, I don't know, if you need a treatment in medicine, you doctor, you have to give him this medicine, you have to give him this treatment, and if not, you will be punished. Or the tax law, and you need a tax advisor because the tax law is so complicated that you can't do it on your own, and so on. So these are kind of by law. And then there's a third one, that's maybe the most important one, is the Machiavelli lie, manipulation. So that is like you buy yourself, the elites buy themselves for a few $billion. That's not expensive. They buy themselves all the journalists, the media, and then they can control all of them. So that is the power, the means of power that people have: money, law, and manipulation. And now the question is, where are you? Are you playing here? Are you using that? Are you skillful? And now, I have always been relatively kind of precise in what I want to do. And now after so where I want to be, and where I stand for, and what I fight for, and so on, and whether I want to convince people to live in a certain way. But now I have changed. Because of this question, what choice do we have? Do we have a choice? And now the thing is, I've separated what choice we have in order to find our place here, skill and power. You know, now what are the choices we have? And now the thing is, in theory, there is a best choice, and that is this sweet spot between local, living in a rural area, in a natural way, in nature, touching real things, you know, talking to people, having a community which we talk to, going to a shop where we know the shop owner, he helps us, we do things together. So local groups, and which stand for me for freedom. But you know, if you only live like that, you are only living in the forest, and you don't have an iPhone, you don't have internet connections, you don't have a car, and so on. So that means we have to move somewhere to this globalized way where we say, okay, I live in a globalized world. I live in Silicon Valley. I live in, I don't know, in an area where they build cars. I live in an area where they produce all the electronics and so on. Which is very global, with millions of people in one city. But the area there is artificial, and it's mainly virtual instead of real, yeah? And now the thing is, I think we need both. And what I think is very, very important is that a human, so what choice do we have? So if you look at yourself, or do I have, so picture yourself, you are a person, you are born, maybe you are born here, then I would recommend go also into the global world. Try to work in the city. Try to work in global jobs. Try to work for 10 days, 10 years in a global world. Fine, go or hop between the two. But please hop between the two. And now I go to one important thing. So I say, this is freedom. This is in living locally, is in nature, is freedom. And living globally is slavery. And now the problem, the big problem is, because I just mentioned that this person can go here and can go here. But now, from freedom to slavery is a one-way street. And very, very important. That is what you always have to keep in mind. It's a one-way street. Once you're in slavery, you stay in slavery. You will not get out. You have a mortgage to pay, you have a family to feed, you have your rent to pay, and so on. You don't have skills that you can use in the local area. You don't have a stretch of land. You don't have friends there. You don't know what to do there. So that means you are actually here in slavery. And that's the big problem, that it's a one-way street, because and that is also, what choice do we have? So please, please, please always try, with whatever means you have, try to fight, and fight very fiercely, that you will always have this choice, and that it not happens that this is a one-way street from freedom to slavery. Because, you know, you can say, well, if everything goes belly up in the global city, I move to a rural place. Well, maybe they catch you, maybe they get you, maybe you get your vaccine also if you live somewhere, if you not pay your in the countryside, maybe you don't pay your taxes, you don't have a car, you don't get money, you and so on. So it's not that easy. They catch you, they get you there. So there is, in this world we have at the moment, there is no place to hide. There is no place to hide. Maybe you go to Africa or to the Amazonas or somewhere where you could hide. But if you stay in a country, in an industrialized country, I think there are very, very areas of escape to freedom. So please watch out for that. Now, as a realistic best choice, I would say, we have no choice, no chance at all to fight the power system. So I think it is a law, a natural law, that we will always have this power system where you have a leader and he controls the main part of the population. We have a huge problem at the moment because of technology. These people can be so powerful because they know everything about us. In the past, they had to do that via religion, where they said, if you don't behave well, also you live 100 miles from my castle, God will punish you. And so people were afraid of God and believed that God looks at them and punishes them. But now they can really punish you. So they have drones, and they with every possibility, they when you use a phone or so, they know exactly where you are and so on. They can control you completely. So that means they have more power than the religions had in the medieval areas, and or generally the religions had, you know, when we were still religious. So we replaced, the elites replaced their means of communication or manipulation or oppressing you from religion to electronic means. And that is the huge problem I see, because there is no way back. And now the thing, and no way out. So that means the power system will always be there. And now the thing is, you can be a passive or an active acceptor of that power system. And the thing is, I tend to be an active acceptor of the power system. So I accept that this, and I think, well, if I would find a way to kind of make this slavery power system like a two-way street, so that I have the choice to go back to freedom, okay, fine, I would do that. And I'm actively looking for means to do that. But at the moment, I don't see one. So that means I see myself as an active acceptor of the system, and active always means as active as the system currently allows. And this is my big threat I see. This is the big worry I see, that the communication means, the technology means allow the elites to control us much more than religion has done. Religion, violence, and so on, cruelty by the oppressors, and so on. Then in the medieval times, and nowadays, the elites have much more power. So I see a decline in choice that this poor person has. I have, to actually get out and sneak into somewhere where there is freedom. However you define freedom. The film Brazil says you can also have freedom just in your brain, yeah? So you get a vaccine, you get a chip, you get access to money only if you behave well, you get your information, media dumped into your brain, but still maybe you are able to maintain freedom in your brain. I don't know whether that is really nice, but maybe it's the last resort we have. Thank you for listening. Very interesting. It was 23 minutes, but I think when I look at the impact this picture has on us, then I think you could invest 23 hours to kind of, and there's lots of information about like this type of information on YouTube videos and in research papers and so on. You just have to put it all together, and then, you know, it makes sense, and you think, wow, where do I live? Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.